You're making a huge mistake if you plan to quit your job without reading this book. I remember the day I read this book because it fundamentally changed the way I see business and how I view finance. So if you care about your financial future, then you need to check out this book. Now, this isn't a book I've been paid to talk about. I wasn't given a free copy or asked to pump smoke about everything the book does right. To this day, I can remember when I read this book for the first time. I was 19 and I just started to get a grasp of the world, and this book changed everything for me. While other people were pissing around and making mistakes, I was learning the skills that now, almost 15 years later, have helped me and my family secure our dream lifestyle. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is one of the most well-known finance books ever written. And some of the top business owners and finance experts around the world quote it to this day. The book covers how the author grew up learning about money, finance, and business from two successful men and turns those life experiences into digestible lessons that readers can use to improve their financial futures. Because of the book's success, it's grown a huge following of believers and occasional doubters. And to me, that's a bellwether that something is legit. If it's got heaps of people singing its praises and a few haters, that's a recipe for success in my mind. Now, even if you doubt some of the stories that Robert Kiyosaki tells, the principles in this book stand on a rock solid foundation. The one thing I find really interesting in this book is that it doesn't tell you how to get rich, but it gives you the tools to do so. It doesn't tell you what stocks to buy or what horses to bet in, but it does give you the ability to look at money, look at liabilities and assets, and look at opportunities and how to make the most of them. And let's be fair, not everyone who reads this book is successful, and that's where you get those doubters from. But if you're here consuming content and securing your financial future, the tools this book provides will be a powerful weapon in your arsenal. One of the first things you'll learn from the book early on is that it's meant for anyone who's willing to work and put effort in. Right off the bat, right at the beginning of the book, Robert Kiyosaki subverts the idea that financial success is gated behind intelligence. He starts off by talking about his rich father and his poor father. One is his biological father and the other is his best friend's father. What we learn within the first chapter is of his two fathers, the one he considered to be rich, he considered to have a better understanding of finances. He was the one that didn't leave bills to his children, and he was the one that didn't have college degrees. This immediately sets the tone for the rest of the book, that money isn't something to be feared, and it's not some system that only the elites of the world have access to or can understand. And with the right foundation, you can understand how money works and how to make it work for you. And this is something that I can personally attest to. The successful business owners I interact with every day, they aren't double degree holders. They don't hold a master's in finance. They are real people like you and me with the drive to succeed. What a lot of people don't consider is that being financially successful and stable does require a mentality shift. Honestly, there's a reason that successful people continue to be more successful and make more money. And that's got to do with their mentality and how they view opportunities. The book really uses a powerful example of the way the two dads view opportunities. One looks at opportunity and thinks, I can't afford this, while the other thinks, how can I afford this? And the reason I think that this point is so important is because it gets rid of the idea and the notion that the game is rigged and the rich only get richer while the poor get poorer. It's really easy to give up and say, I got dealt a bad hand and I don't have the opportunity to invest like Mark Zuckerberg. Rich Dad, Poor Dad teaches us with a fundamental shift in the way we think, moving from I can't to how can I make it work. We can see success from taking opportunities that other people are willing to put the effort in for. One of the most important skills I learned from the book is shifting my mentality to go from having a job to a business. Moving from having a job to being a part of a business is obviously a big logistical change. You're no longer a cog in a machine. You have full agency over your life and your financial future. And that's why a lot of people struggle. It's something I've witnessed myself. Running an agency, I've spoken to all sorts of business owners, and I can tell you right away who's going to be successful and who isn't. And this comes down to how they view things and their mentality towards opportunities. You get a really good look at how it works in the advertising industry, which is why it's such a great example to explain to people. These successful people, the people who are really going to make it, see the value in something like advertising. It's not a cost, nor is it a chore. It's just a part of doing business. The really successful people know what we do at a marketing agency is important and allow us to do it. On the other hand, I know businesses are going to struggle when they sit down with me and they start trying to cut corners and acting non-committally about advertising. It's a great example because it circles back to how Robert Kiyosaki describes his two dads. Changing your mentality to see advertising as an opportunity and finding a way to invest in it properly is the way the rich dad would think. But working in advertising is just giving me an example of how to identify rich dad and poor dads through my own experience. The truth is, the skills you learn from this book are transferable. Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't a book about advertising, it's not about marketing, and it's not about stocks and investing. It's about money, how to make it and how to keep it. But it does more than just tell you to invest wisely or never invest what you can't afford to lose. This book will completely rewire your brain. You won't be able to look at opportunities and deals the same way anymore. You'll be able to make better decisions that will positively impact your financial future. You'll be able to unlock the ability to assess opportunities, identify risks, and eliminate liabilities. And the beauty is that these skills are completely transferable. They are as relevant to a day trader as they are to an electrician running their own business. One of the most relevant, transferable skills the book teaches is defining and understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. Assets and liabilities exist everywhere, not just in your business, but in your personal life, in your job, and how you interact with everyone else. To put it in layman's terms, an asset puts money in your pocket, while a liability takes it out of your pocket. You might think that this is a pretty simple concept, right? But have a think about this. Is your house an asset or is it a liability? When you talk to a real estate agent or a financial planner, they'll describe it as an asset, something that appreciates, something that you need to survive. But is it an asset or a liability? Copping a lot of flack, Robert Kiyosaki rightfully describes it as a liability. It's one of the best examples out there that challenges what you consider an asset and realizing what is a liability, helping you rewire your brain to make better financial decisions. And making these better financial decisions is how we become wealthy, not rich. You might think that being rich and being wealthy are the same, but that's just not the case. In the book, Kiyosaki talks about the differences between being rich and being wealthy. This ties back to assets and liabilities because assets help you to be wealthy, not just rich. Robert Kiyosaki believes wealth is measured in time and not in dollar figures. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how long you can keep the money and have it work for you by investing in passive income streams. You might think having nice cars and expensive items are a sign of being rich, but they are liabilities. Like we discussed earlier, they aren't assets. They don't make you wealthy. Wealth is measured in how long you can survive if you decide to quit your job tomorrow. Having a Ferrari won't help you keep the rent paid. It's a liability. But investing in secondary income streams, like having a business or a product that will get you money every month, these are assets. And these are a sign of true wealth. But all this incredible information, it's not enough. Rich Dad Poor Dad has sold over 32 million copies, but we didn't see 32 million wealthy people as a result of it. And that's because the book stops at knowledge, but knowledge isn't everything. The idea that all you need is the right knowledge is crap. You can read all the books and listen to all the podcasts, but information is only half the battle. What you need to know and what other people are afraid to tell you is that action, real action, is just as important as knowledge. If you're sitting there listening to this video, you need to do more than just go and read this book. You need to take action as well based on what you learn. My recommendation is to start a personal balance sheet to help you weigh up your incoming and outgoing expenses. Use it as a chance to weigh up your assets and identify any liabilities. Because the truth is, if you're able to watch this video, you're able to skew your liabilities into assets. People who say they don't have any money aren't trying hard enough. Right now, do it right now. Look around the room you're in. I guarantee that there's things you don't need and there's things that you can sell. Use that money to start a business or invest. Do something productive with it the way Rich Dad would. The people watching this video that are going to be successful are the ones that are going to pick up the book and start actively assessing their finances. Take the idea that knowledge is power and throw it out the window. Action based on knowledge is true power. I can appreciate that securing your financial future is daunting, and that's why you see people in their 40s stuck in dead-end jobs with homes they don't own. But if you're watching this video, you've got what it takes to escape the rat race. Go and pick up a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad, learn from people living the lifestyle you want, and take action today. Nothing is holding you back except your own determination. So, If you're looking for more information about getting ahead of the rat race and eventually getting out of it, I've linked a really useful video here and in the description below on how to quit your 9 to 5 and start your own business. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck.